Moper, dude. You not all by yourself?
No.
Bryce Regal, what's going on, Bryce? Clean?
Everybody.
Rude Moper, dude. What's happening, guys? It's Sunday night. Live. Sing the theme song.
I don't know the theme song.
You were working on the theme song all day.
I wasn't.
Oh. Well, she was supposed to be working on a theme song for you guys, you know, for Sunday nights, but she didn't.
I didn't. No.
Okay. Oh, man, they're just piling in faster than you can imagine. Right. I need coffee. John Woodruff. John, where were you? You caused some sort of crisis, bro. You disappeared for a couple of days, and people were like, "Where's the squirrels guy?"
Oh.
Where were you, bro?
Everyone was worried.
No, seriously, everybody was worried. Like the YouTube community was worried about you.
Yeah. I think they said some novenas.
Yeah, I lit a candle. I don't even believe that. So I lit a candle. Okay. John R. Donovan, English. There you go. Well, here we are, brother.
What's up, George?
Uncle No Identity, Motown. Okay. You have COVID.
Oh, who?
John Woodworth. We had it last year.
Sorry.
That was pretty rough.
That's a good reason not to comment,
Yep.
though. So the novenas worked.
Yeah.
He's back.
He lived. It's John Wilburn. Supermod
What's up,
John
John?
Wilburn. Oh, a little trim. Who?
Michael Galapos says old school in the house.
Very old school. This is actually, our computer has tubes.
Have you been to the barber?
Who, me?
I'm working on it.
Oh, no, it's just tucked up in there.
I have to chase him around with scissors.
Do you ever try to buy NOS parts find on eBay? Not in a long time. Jacob Dudek, any relation to Dave?
Deco Collins says, sup, Uncle T.
Sup.
What's up, Cat?
So you sup me, I sup. I triple sup you back.
Yes, R.I.P. Norm Krause.
Let's
see. Will you be getting the vaccine?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Can you see me getting a vaccine?
Johnny doesn't like needles. He's kind of like afraid of them.
Let's see. Oh, it's Old Car Guy. Guys, last Thursday night, we were on the Old Car Guy and Straight Six Fan show,
Yep.
their podcast. And if you go to, put a link to that, Old Car Guy, put a link to that. So anybody who's interested now, they can go see that. James Fife, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, James. That was fun. We had a good time.
Yeah, that was great. I really enjoyed that.
Too much, though.
No, I don't think so.
We talked too fast.
Hey, did we talk too much?
I think we did.
Why?
I don't know. We do. How do we start a YouTube site? Old Car Guy says not at all. Okay, good.
Okay. Well, Old Car Guy, put the link to that to the show we did here, so that anybody who wants to watch it can go back and check it out. And of course, go subscribe. Check out Old Car Guy. Go subscribe to his channel. He's got a Doba, right? Mm-hmm. Anybody with a Doba is good by me.
Your dad had a Doba.
Yes, I know.
You made him buy it, didn't you?
I did.
Rocky Meyer says I missed Buff. He was supposed to be here tonight, but he's still 500 miles away, so he'll be here next week. Thanks, John Wilburn. He put up a link
Thank
to
you,
Old
John.
Car Guy's channel.
Will ever build a nitro fuel Hemi? Yes, absolutely not yet. I gotta wait till all the stars align, and then we're gonna do it. Buff is coming back, Rocky.
Yeah, he's coming back.
Yeah.
Let's see. No one know how?
Yeah.
Says, do you like your 67 Dart more or the Daily Driver Project one more?
Well, I don't drive the Daily Driver Project. That's her car. So I leave that here at the house.
That one? It's a 72.
Yeah, I bounce. She drives that thing primarily, and then I bounce between 3 different vehicles. I have Mrs. Landy, which is our 64 Dart, 170/6, the 273 GT, 67 Dart GT, and the Carry Van. So on any given day, I'll drive one of those 3, and she primarily drives the Swinger, the Daily Driver Swinger.
Saad Khalid, I hope I said that right. Or Khalid says, would you have a minute in the future to let me borrow your brain? I was born in the wrong time.
See, do it right now. This is why we do these Sunday night shows.
Yeah.
We do this show every Sunday. Anybody who's not familiar with this, we do this show every Sunday night. We're on for a minimum of 2 hours. Sometimes we go 3, 4. I mean, we've gone that time, and this is primarily like general questions and stuff like that, general conversation. And then we do Wednesday night tech talk, which is specifically for like technical questions. And I do it with my buddy Dallas over at his place.
Food Center GT says, Tony, roll up your windows. Roll up your windows.
Roll up your windows. You want Buff. Buff is coming back. They only watch this show for Buff. They don't give a shit about me.
No. Yeah. No. They want me out of here.
They want you out of here.
They want Buff to take my place.
And Buff needs his own channel and his own everything. And he'll just own the internet.
So Dwayne is saying, how do I start a YouTube channel? Get a Gmail account.
Get it, yeah. The simple basics. Just start with that. Get a Gmail account, set up, and then
YouTube.
Start shooting things that are interesting to you. Use your phone. Upload stuff from your phone.
Anything.
Doesn't matter what it is. As long as it's something that you're interested in. If you're interested in it, then you're gonna find. No matter what it is, you could be interested in shoelaces, okay? And you're gonna find someplace on this planet. There's a community of people that are just eat up about shoelaces. Find them, help them find you, and then the next thing you know, you're gone. You're doing it.
Good advice, Tony.
Okay. Yes, Saeed. Like I said, I mean, you can throw the question out now. If it's too heavy to answer technical now, just come back on Wednesday. But throw the question out now. And not only that, but you've got other people here that can help you out also. We have, in generally speaking, we have an extremely astute audience here. These guys are they're sharp. They're into a lot of different things. They have the body of knowledge here is just off the chain. So throw it out there.
He says, I'm addicted to restoring this van. Laugh out loud. I've been religiously watching your channel.
Nice. What kind of van? Almost. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Chicken feed funds. Thank you.
Anthony, do you still have the duster? Yeah, the duster's sitting in the backyard over here. I painted it and just parked it in the backyard. I still got to rub it out, and we got to do some interior stuff to it. The headliner is all, right? I got a hole in the floor I got to fix. I still have a water leak around the windshield I have to fix.
Headliners, do you know?
I know. 804-4300 Econoline. That's a fun truck, man.
Thank you, Dickie Farley. He says that I beat Buff. I don't know. Buff and I might have to arm wrestle.
Unfinished Plan Z.
Let's see.
Okay.
Allie the Retro Kid says, will a cheap eBay all-in-one HI distributor leave me on the side of the road?
Probably, yes. Probably.
Let's see. Chrysler Conquest GEM, any update?
Nothing yet. I haven't talked to Kiwi. I've been busy and I haven't been contacting him, and he's obviously busy because he hasn't contacted me. Usually we'll touch base with each other. He did have that knee surgery. I'm sure that put him behind. So we'll get together.
That's why we kind of left him alone.
Yeah.
Because he had major
Plus, he was moving his shop also. And the same thing with Jim Bennett. He had to move his shop.
Yep. Everybody's moving their shops. Ready Steady says, hey, Big Tony, where are you from? Italy?
No, I'm originally from New York City.
You from Italy?
No. Originally from New York City and here in Nashville, Tennessee for the last 18 years. 18 years.
A lot of years. Las Cadaver says, does UC remember Terrajet ATV Argos from the 70s?
Oh, rings a bell. Not really.
Tony, did you hear about Mr. Norman?
Yes, I heard all about Mom passing, going to the other side there. You love the head pointing in the shower. I love head pointing in the shower.
Fizzle says, my girl is trying to turn her slant 6 into?
Slant 6 what?
Binto?
I don't know.
A hyper pack. Into a hyper pack.
Oh, do you have the manifold for it?
Vicky Frog might be getting another dog. Awesome. What's up, Dakota? Step Van Dance is big hugs from Minnesota.
Hey. Jacob, do that closed chamber flat tops versus open chamber dome. Closed chamber flat top. The dome of a piston can get in the way during that overlap period, which is one of the problems with a 426 Hemi. The dome is, the chamber is so big and the dome is so high that in full race, normally aspirated situations where you've got like a 14 to 1, 13 and a half, 14 to 1 compression piston, lots of overlap. The dome actually gets in the way during the overlap period. So that's an extreme example, but I prefer a flat top with a closed chamber piston, a nice flat quench pad.
What's up, Paul Cabazola? He's asking, have you had a chance to make any hits on Frenzy yet?
No, bro, it's just wet out there. It's raining. It's been raining. It rains for a couple hours and it stops, but like it is nothing but mud between the Plan Z and the road, and it's Plan Z is not leaving the shop until there's not mud there.
Jacob Dudek says closed chamber flat.
I answered that already.
Oh, you did already. See, I'm not paying attention.
Ben Compton, what are the plans for the Miata? I want to try to make it as 60s British as possible while still maintaining its identity as a Miata. Well, no, it's like the steering wheel bugs me. The shifter kind of bugs me. Like there's a lot of little things on it that I need to like just kind of like refine, just skinny down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? To give it that 60s vibe, right? Because it's close. I mean, it's really close. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. Just tasteful little things. Weird. No, I'm not going to make it weird. I'm going to make it cool. I got to open those windows.
It's hot.
Oh yeah, it's hot here. Woo.
Straight six fan made it. Awesome.
Straight six fan. Welcome, my brother. And once again, we did the old car guy and straight six fan radio show or podcast. It's on video. It's on video. Last Thursday. If you guys want to watch that, it was a live stream. So if you guys want to watch that, somebody will put a link up. Fubar, I think Fubar the Axe, put a link up to that. We'll do it again. Somebody will do it again. So if you want to go watch that, these guys are great. Old car guy, sub to his channel, straight six fan, sub to his channel. Great people.
It's a Tiki probably saying that I'm probably going to kill you after the kitchen video's over.
No. She's going to get a floor out of it.
No, I just want to say, like, don't do that stuff in your bathroom.
Oh, stop.
There's rust everywhere. There's rust everywhere because it's damp in there.
Channing, thank you.
Don't do it, guys. Just don't do it. Channing says, here's some money, guys. Left out on casually weight as usual. Thank you.
Put an e-body pistol grip shifter on the Miata. It's too big. It's too big. I was actually I was looking at, like, I was thinking maybe a T handle, you know, right? Because that could be pretty cool. But all of it, the shifter knob on the Miata is just this big. It's out of proportion with the rest of the car. It's just this big, shapeless blah. So I looked at maybe putting a T handle on there, but it doesn't fit the spirit of the car. So I'm going to find like just a small, you know, like a wood grain sort of ball and put it on there. And I got to get rid of that airbag steering wheel that's on it because it's got a puffy airbag steering wheel. So we put like a you know, 3-spoke, old school 3-spoke wheel on there, maybe with a wood grain. I guess I want that. I want the 60s Triumph or MG vibe is what I'm looking for.
You better get a real roll bar for it.
That roll bar, it's Jesus Christ.
Busting your jobs.
A lot of people are talking about the roll bar on that car, right?
I'm busting your jobs.
I know, but a lot of people like, get a real roll bar. A roll bar is not going to do anything. Yeah, but it's not a crash bar. That's a tip over bar, okay? So in other words, let's say you're playing on your autocross and you're 30 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour, and you put the car on its roof, right? In that way, not flipping and rolling and fireballs and shit like that. No, you die, okay? But during, let's say, the kind of tip over you would have during a fun thing, that bar keeps your head from contacting the asphalt. It's that simple.
Shakes expenses. You two were too kind. You all had a great time. We had a great time.
Yeah, we had a great time. We really enjoyed you guys.
Did you tell Derek that we beat him yet?
Yeah. Well, no. Don't. It's not a competition.
I know.
It's not a competition. You know, we didn't. I mean, you don't want to just tell people that we beat Derek by like 10 full viewers.
Yeah,
You don't want to say anything like that.
Butts and chops.
Michael Morrow, please come to the Buick GS Nets May 11th in Bowling Green. Bowling Green has this mask thing. I'm not going anywhere near there if they still have a mask thing. If the mask thing is over by then, I'll be there.
Mask thing? Are they still doing that at Bowling Green?
As far as I know.
Disco Mogul says, Tony, I've got this silly idea for a 3-barrel car that's set up almost like a 4-barrel. Do you think that could work?
I've got a 3-barrel Holly sitting on the shelf. Yeah, no, it's been done. It's old. That was from 1967 is when the Holly 3-barrel came out, 950 CFM. And then 1968, they made the 1050 CFM. 69, they went to the Dominator.
Straight to expense says we need an excuse to reach out to Derek, so we'll do it. Good.
Yeah, but don't mention to him that we beat him
Right,
in terms of don't do that. Don't do that. That's not nice. Wayne Ferguson, advice, Tony. How do you deal with annoying naysayers that start dragging you down? Noise, brother, man. It's just noise. In one ear and out the other. The thing you always have to remember is when you get that negative noise, whatever it happens to be, and it'll come from your family, it'll come from your friends, neighbors, people on the internet, it doesn't make a difference. It means that you're effective. You see what I'm saying? It means that you're effective. So take it as fuel. When you get the negative naysayers come at you, right, it's fuel. It's telling you you're doing the right thing. Keep doing it harder.
Greg John wants to know, has anyone ever tried turbocharging a 440?
I don't know. I don't think that would be an effective thing to do. Yeah, why not just use a single 4-valve V on a turbocharger? Baby.
Yeah.
Can I get a coffee?
Okay.
I need to wake up. You mad at me?
No, I'm not mad at you at all.
Can I get coffee?
Yeah, sure. Water, no tank? Yeah, water. It's water.
Yeah, just water.
I need coffee.
I'm trying to like lose some of this. Any thoughts on the hammers on cheap aluminum heads? I have no thoughts. Bruce, I did it already. I did. Baby, is here work? Did she get me coffee now? See, wife Wendy almost brought me a cup of coffee. It works even like through the internet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. You guys thank me for this later. Have you guys seen the Boosted Boys Toyota MR2? Has anybody seen this thing? When you get the block back, when they call me, I will get the block. Not me. You haven't seen it. Okay, you want to see something truly amazing, right? Boosted Boys. Okay, they got this. It's a really tame looking Toyota MR2. I just saw this the other night, right? So they're running it down in Bradenton. This thing goes middle 8s, okay, like 860s, and 170 miles an hour. This thing traps at 170 miles an hour. It's got like tires this wide on the thing, right? He's got to leave. He leaves the starting line like he just creeps out of the hole, okay? Then lays into it, and then all hell breaks loose. This thing buzzes the traps at 170 miles an hour. It looks like something. I swear to God, you see this car sitting in a parking lot, and you're like, it's a Toyota, right? No, this thing, 100, can you wrap your head around this? 170 miles an hour from a four-banger. I mean, I know obviously the guys that go faster than we're four-bangers, but it's just, you got to see the car. You got to see the car and the kid, wherever this kid is. I'm gonna become more familiar with that channel because this kid is such the drag racer gearhead. I mean, like he should be the poster boy for the next generation. Really cool stuff. Boosted Boys. If you get a chance, go check that out. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Don English said that his wife almost went to get him a cup of coffee.
Oh, really? When you said that?
Yeah. Just to show how effective it is.
Cool.
Anthony, you've seen that MR2, right? Oh, it has a Honda K Series motor in it?
Did you thank Bruno?
Oh, Bruno, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The trolls are out tonight. Where are they? Bring me the trolls.
Everywhere.
Is that what's in there? Is it a Honda motor in that thing? But yeah, I'm telling you that the car and the kid. He's not really a kid. He's probably like 28, 30 years old. A Boosted Boys. Yeah, I was like super impressed by all of that. Saeed, can I use a Duraspark distributor with the 4300 stock carbon computer? Just plug and play into the existing harness. I don't know how that's going to work. I couldn't tell you how it's going to work with the computer, with the stock computer that's in there. Okay, I'm lost.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
So I'll be gone spray. It's like bear spray, but different. Yeah. I don't know. We get a lot of trolls tonight.
Where? I don't see any trolls.
That's because the guys are working hard here. They're working super hard. It's like fake accounts. Let's see. Numbnuts. Uncle Tony, did you get a chance to check out Epic Industries for the Miata? Could have used it for your snow adventure in Manitoba or Crete.
I have not. But I will. What was the name of it?
I guess go back up. Epic Industries?
Epic Industries. I'm going to write that down.
You have a board.
I got it. I'm going to write this down right here. All right. Epic.
All these Nancy Pelosi's and their thumbs down. Are we getting thumbs down? What's your thoughts on the 928?
Don't really have any. Not really my wheelhouse.
What's up, Nick V? UTG, you might get some good ideas for build back in the early 2000s. Stacey Davis Banshee 1992 Mazda Miata. Have you seen that one?
I think he put that was a swap. I'm not looking to swap anything in there. I want to keep it all Mazda.
Let's see. What's up, Bruce W? Oh wait, my phone just went.
Is that really Brian? Brian Cabral?
No, it's not Brian. It's not him. I have respect for any of the Go Fast brands, Japanese teammates, Go Fast too. We're all car guys, just what floats your boat. It's Bruce W. I don't really think that's him rooting over a dude. I don't think he has the courage to come on a live, to tell you the truth.
Oh, leave the guy alone. He's the fucking guy's tragic.
Oh, I know. So they're saying he's on here, but he's not.
For those who are unfamiliar, this guy named Brian Cabral, and he literally has a channel. He has like 400 videos, and like 375 of them are about me. The guy makes a video or two every day about me. So I mean,
How much you suck.
oh, please. He he's got like these long fingers. He's got like spiders tattooed on the back. It's like a Spider-Man. He's got spiders tattooed on the back of his hands, and he has like a little click.
Kathy, yes, best upgraded TVI system for 318 W150.
I don't have any opinions on that. Maybe somebody else does.
What's up, TJB? He's saying what's up, Uncle T. Yeah, 0. Right. They're pretending.
So people keep bringing up Mr. Norm. Should I
Yeah.
tell my Mr. Norm story?
Tell you Mr. Norm story.
I'll tell you my Mr. Norm story. So this was in 1996, maybe 1997, right? So I'm working for Superstock and Drag Illustrated magazine. And they just changed the name from Superstock and Drag Illustrated to Drag Racing Illustrated or Drag Racing Monthly, whatever the hell it changed the name to. I don't remember, it's all blur. But I was working with Steve Collison. So Steve is having me do a series of these history things. So I had done one on Tommy Ivo, which, by the way, Tommy Ivo, if you ever get a chance to meet this guy or talk to this guy, he is the nicest human you'll ever fucking come across, right? I mean, the guy's really, really good, down to earth. He's got to be close to 100 years old now. But I had a great time with him, so I did that one. I did one with, oh God, I don't know. It is a blur. It is a long time ago. But so Steve says to me, do you know where I can find Mr. Norm? You know, Norm Kraus. I says, bro, I have no clue, right? So he says, why don't you try to track him down, see if you can find somebody. You know, you got people in the Chicago area. And at the time, I was running around with a bunch of nitro cars in the Chicago area. So I put out the feelers, and I get a lead, a phone number, right? So I call him up, and I says, is this Norm Kraus? So he says, yes. I says, Norm, my name's Tony. I'm supposed to find you to do a story on Superstock and Drag Illustrated magazine. He says, really? Is that still around? I says, yeah. I says, do you have any? Do you want to do something with me? You know, we'll do the history of bring everybody up to speed. He says, people remember that? I says, yeah, people remember that. I says that you were a bit of a big deal back in the day. So he says, all right, well, come to my house. So I was in I think it was in Joliet, and I ran up to his place. He was up around it was one of the nicer areas. Oak Park, was it? I don't remember. It doesn't make a difference. So I walk up his door, right? I knock on his door. He opens the door. He's wearing a robe, right? And he shakes my hand. He says, come on in, right? And he had no clue that everything that he was involved with back in the day had become a thing. He was a used cars. He started out as a used car salesman. That was his deal. And then he ended up buying a truckload of were they Max Wedge cars? I believe they were Max Wedge cars. A trailer truckload full of Max Wedge cars. And then that's how the whole Mr. Norm's performance thing got started. And he grew the dealership and so on and so forth. And when the performance aspect of it died in like 72, 73, he went into vans. And it was Mr. Norm's Van Emporium, whatever it was. And then at that point, the neighborhood dived. The economy wasn't so hot. He wasn't selling anything. And he got out of the business and he retired. And he walked away from everything and he had no clue. So from around 1977, 1978 until 1996, nothing. He had no idea. So it was a total surprise to him at the time that that he was a famous guy. And I did this like 5-page story with him on in Superstock. And we toured the old dealership. The old dealership was he still owned it. He still owned the property and the warehouse across the street, but it was all boarded up at the time. And I was at Brian Coleman. I don't know if you remember Brian Coleman. He had that he had a blown Nitro 65 Coronet. And we were like, we were geeking on all of this stuff, man. And he had the Charger, the Mr. Norm's mini Charger under a tarp in the back of the dealership, like in the service bays. We found that, right? And it was like untouched from the time that it was parked there. And we were going through the buildings. We were finding like new old stock Hurst shifters and stuff that was just like left behind. It was all kinds of scraps. It was like It was literally, it was like the time of, like, if you're a gearhead, Mopar, geeky guy, it was a time of my life. So, but anyway, that was really the only dealings I ever had with Mr. Norm. After that, he realized he was famous, and he went with it. And I went off and I was doing my own thing. So that was my one and only encounter with Mr. Norm. Patrick Stevens, I'm glad you made it too, brother man. You know I love Fords. How do I feel about the 4.6 motor? Is it yes, the 4. Why would you ask me if the 4.6 is a good motor? It's proven time and time again. It's an excellent motor. Jeremy Davis, did you ever do a write-up magazine on a 440 looking to get your bro? I couldn't even tell. Listen, hundreds and hundreds of stories. I have no idea. It's impossible for me to remember all of the different ones that I did. Terrence Boyer, any words of wisdom for trying to rebuild a quadrijet for someone who has never rebuilt a car before? I'm not going to blow you off, Terrence. I don't mean to blow you off, but come Wednesday night, come 7 o'clock Wednesday night, come join the live then, because I do that with my friend Dallas. It's tech only. We only talk about tech stuff. And he is a quadrijet guru, right? So come on Wednesday night. Hey, Brian Cabal, what's going on? He goes by Uncle Sanford. Mopar Man 1978 watched an interview with Mr. Norm. He had a couple of kids who drag raced teenagers. They put a 3D3 in a Dart, and Chrysler Tech said it couldn't be done. So he showed them. That's a myth. That didn't actually happen, Mopar Man. Chrysler, for 1967, Chrysler increased the width between the frame rails and set the motor back 2 inches and increased the transmission tunnel to fit a 727 to factory put the 3D3. There was that's a myth about the Mr. Norm 3D3 Dart thing. Chrysler put the 3D. You could put you could put a big block in an early Dart, a 66 and earlier, but it's a miserable fit, and you've almost got to use fender wall headers because there were the torsion bars, the distance between the frame rail and the torsion bar. It's terrible. So on the for 1967, Chrysler itself widened the engine bay 2 inches, set the motor back 2 inches, and opened a transmission tunnel so that you could just drop in a 3D3. So that whole thing about Mr. Norm inventing that is a myth. It's a myth.
That was funny. Unity's here.
Unity Motorsports Garage, my brother, you are awesome in every way, shape, and form. Thank you for that contribution on that video the other day, and you're working on the jetting part of that. And if anybody has not, if you don't know Unity Motorsports Garage, go over there, check him out. He's got that truck Casper, and he's working on another video for us actually now. I think I got your text, but bro, it got mixed in with 1,000 others. I figure I'll catch up with you tomorrow.
Matt Mazzone says, what do you think of stroking a 440?
I mean, it's got a lot of stroke as it is. I mean, you can. I think that once you get past that 480, 500 inch range like that, it's really diminishing returns.
Let's see. Mike Westbrook says, what's your take on Edelbrock ASV2 cars?
They're great. They're great. I mean, okay. I have never held an Edelbrock ABS2 car ever, but I can tell you that they stay true to the original Carter design, like they did with the AFB and the regular Edelbrock. The ABS was an excellent carburetor all the way around, so I'm sure it's a good piece.
Do you remember what year that and month that article was?
It's going to be someplace between 1995 and 1997. Someplace, maybe later than that. 96. When was I doing all those? Remember I was doing all of those history things for Collison?
I don't remember. It's a long time ago.
It's hard
to remember
it's a long time ago. Max Wedge, Dick Dastardly, Rusnak. Tony, ever meet Bill Jenkins, Grumpy Toy? Yes, I did. I met. I've talked to him. I talked to him a few times. Very interesting guy. Very nice guy.
He said in the 70s he raced my dad all the time at a tiny strip 15 miles from here.
Oh, really?
Very cool. Dakota's timed out again.
Let's see.
What?
Isaiah Osborne, is there money in starting a restoration shop in today's world? Oh, bro, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't mean to be a downer, but I would not get involved in anything like that right now.
Tracy Fan says, gotta go edit my footage from working on my Fairmont today. Good time as always.
Good shit. That's a neat car. Again, if you're straight six feet, before you go, tell the people what you have there in that Fairmont. So anybody who's interested in that type of thing can go over and follow you on that channel.
Danny Boy wants to know the street racing been ruined by the thuggish a-holes or one's fight.
No, you should have seen the thuggish assholes that I grew up with. No, hang on a second. Rocky Myers, if he was nice, why did they call him Grumpy? So see, here's how people are misunderstood and misread. Okay, Jenkins had a very specific way of talking. Okay, so if you asked him a question, right, there would be this pause. He wanted him. I'm explain to you. You'd say, "How's it going, Bill? Everything good today?" And he would just look at you. Okay, and there would be a pause, and then he would say, "It's okay." And if you give him another second, he'd say, "The weather looks good. Track temperature seems okay. I think the car's going to bite today." But nobody would ever give him that, okay? You see, so he came off as being grumpy, okay? He came off as being like short, like he didn't want to be bothered with you. But he was not like that at all. He was just, it was the way he talked, his demeanor, the cadence, right? And because it just wasn't like everybody else's measure of talking. So if you actually took the time to stop and listen, the guy, he was a gem. He really was.
Noah Millhouse says, it's someone who is fairly new to the UTG community. Can you tell a guy more about the days you wrote for magazines and such?
You hold that question 1 second.
Okay.
Well, Paul Cavazola is saying, I saw an interview where Norm Krause said they put the 383 Dart together and showed it to Chrysler. No, that is wrong. I don't care if Mr. Norm said it himself. I don't care if, it doesn't make any difference. The 383 Dart came in 1966. It is physically improbable to put factory in the early A-body, 63 to 66. Physically improbable to put a big block in there. The reason being the transmission tunnel is too small. It barely fits a 904. You can't squeeze a 727 in there without beating the hell out of it. The exhaust, the frame rails are too narrow. So the exhaust, you have almost no choice but to use fender well headers with a big block on those cars, on the early A-body, 66. When they introduced the 67, the modifications that the factory did between 1966 and 1967 were all done specifically to put a big block in there. So it wasn't that it was somebody's private brainstorm or anything like that. It was a means of keeping up with the Mustang, which offered a big block. So in 1967. So 1968, Chrysler wanted to make sure they could put a big block in the Barracuda to compete with the Mustang. And because of that, the entire A-body line was revised to widen the frame rails, widen the transmission tunnel, and move the motor back against closer to the firewall. Actually, they moved the firewall back 2 inches. So That's the story about the whole Mr. Norm thing and the 383 Dart is a myth. I do not care who said it, right? It's the factory had decided to do that sometime in 1965 because they've got a product plan that far ahead. So it's a myth. It's a myth.
Ralph Salentano says cars are good.
Ralph Salentano, my brother Ralph. He's up in the remains of New York City. He's visiting New York City right now.
Back.
Oh, they're back?
Yeah, they're back.
Oh, okay.
Tony, do more part F-body bid.
If I have a F-body at my disposal, I will.
James Heiser says, can you run nitro in a small block?
Yeah, people have been doing it since really the 50s. But yeah, if you a very popular class used to be a thing called junior fuel that they ran mostly on the West Coast. So it was like a West Coast circuit thing, and they ran small block Chevys, 305 cubic inch limit, injected or nitro in dragsters, and most of the cars weighed right around 1,000 pounds, and they were running down in the bottom eights, the high sevens, all at around 200 miles an hour, 190 to 200 miles an hour. And those were basically stock small block Chevys, stock junkyard small block Chevys that they throw injectors, a cam, zoomies on, throw 100% in the tank, and then we will go blazing. Jeremy Davis, thank you, sir. Davies, thank you very much.
Thanks for all the old school knowledge. Very insightful.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Unity says, what about the GSS 440 Dart?
What about it?
I don't know. That's what he said.
Chrysler built several M code 440 darts in 1969. They did some Cudas also.
CMD Project Shop says, me and my daughter are building a 67 Coronet and are staying small block because of you.
Cool.
Instagram is Duo Garage. Thanks.
Cool.
I'll check that out. I'm taking a screenshot so I remember. Okay, Duo Garage. Get Kathy in your house. What's up, Robert Gray?
Doug Narden, yeah, the GSS 340 Duster, that was a cool car. Paxton powered, it was a blow through, right? There was a lot of Paxton powered stuff and McCullough powered stuff in the 50s and the 60s. But that particular thing, the Mr. Worm's GSS, the 340 Duster, Dart, Demon, whatever, anybody. That was neat. And I especially like the way they cased the whole carburetor in that. So today, all of our blow-through stuff today is hat. You use a carburetor modified for blow-through, and they use a hat. Well, on those Mr. Norm's cars, on the GSS cars, they had a case that sealed the entire carburetor in the case. So instead of having a boost, instead of having to have the carburetor especially prepared for blow-through, you just take any carburetor, bolt it down into that box, seal the box, and send it.
Keith Miles says, hi, it's Keith. I thought you guys ignored me before, but you see me and replied, thanks.
Who's that?
I don't know. Keith Miles.
Oh.
I'm sorry if you thought we ignored you. We don't do it intentionally. SRP says, Tony, can you send me a new UTG shirt? Mine's shrunk.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
It didn't shrink. You got fat, bro. I mean, come on. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
SRP, send me your info at uncletonysgarage@gmail.com and we will fix it. Okay?
You are so generous.
Yeah, well, sure.
Customer service is number one.
It shouldn't shrink. They're pre-washed.
Yeah.
Cotton, so it shouldn't shrink. But if it shrunk, I'll send you a new one. I notice sometimes when we get the shirts and the cotton is not always exactly the same. So that could be what happened, yeah.
It's not all of it. You're like just a little afterthought.
I'm like,
All right, I'll turn this a little bit. I'll turn this a little bit. Okay. There we go. Okay.
Salutes from Argentina. Love you, buddies. What's up, Lobo GTX?
Oh, what's happening, brother?
Uh-oh, the dogs are trying to get in. So what's the best way to get donor parts, and have you gotten parts for free before?
Say that again now?
What's the best way to get donor parts, and have you gotten parts for free before?
We're offered parts all the time. I don't take them. if you best way for you to get donor parts, probably I don't know. I don't know. But generally, as a rule of thumb, and we have people offer us stuff all the time, and we'd rather not, you know.
You know, they're talking to each other. I'm trying to find something. Okay, Cody says, Uncle Tony, I love your channel. I'm trying to buy a car just like Bottle Rocket. I drive by it every morning on my way to work, and it's taunting me every day.
Cool. Go grab it. Go grab it.
We're talking to each other. Why ain't you broadcasting from the shop, or I mean kitchen?
Oh, we just prefer to do it from here now. It's just easier. It's more comfortable to do this kind of thing.
Cramfish Chew says, hey, Uncle Tony.
Hey, it's hot in here. Is it hot in here? Or is it
It's been hot all day.
Last week it was 7 degrees, right?
Yeah.
We were freezing our asses off, and right now I'm sweating. Yeah.
Joe K says, so I'm backed up on YouTube. I'm trying to get caught up. I'm up to your duster painting video. Nice. That's awesome.
Just remember, watch at least 30 seconds of it. It takes, for you guys that don't know, YouTube doesn't count it as a view unless you have 30 seconds. You know, so if you're going to click on one of our videos, just hang out for 30 seconds.
Gabriel R says, Uncle Tony, I'm getting into rebuilding engines, so my first project is a 360 LA. Your videos have been a great resource along with some rebuild books. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. Very cool.
Excellent. I'm glad we can, that's why we do this. We're glad we can help.
Terrence Seymour says, I will try one more time. What about that?
Okay, what are you going to try?
To ask a question. UT, can I upgrade my 50 or 55 amp alternator to a 60 amp alternator on my 67 C body without creating electrical problems?
How many amp?
Can I upgrade my 50 or 55 amp alternator to a 60 amp alternator?
Yeah, you're okay at 60 amp.
67 C body.
You're okay at 60 amp. I wouldn't push it much further than that. The weak link, if you do, okay, so here's the weak link on those things is the alternator gauge, okay? Because on those cars, all of the Chryslers up till 1975, right? Or 74 for some cars. The alternator gauge is a live part of the charging system. So what happens is when you up the amperage on those things, it cooks the gauge. So you can put 100 amp alternator in there, and higher, but you have to bypass that factory alternator gauge and run those two heavy wires. There's a red wire and a blue wire. Both of them bolt to the back of. You've got to run it into a remote amp gauge, and you'll be okay. But yeah, I wouldn't go much further than that.
Channing Johnson says, where can we go to get t-shirts? Go to UncleTony'sGarage.com. There's a store there. Gabriel says, greetings from Mexico.
There's links at the bottom of all of our videos for merch and.
Not the last two I forgot to put on.
We need them.
I forgot. There's links on a bunch of our videos. What's up, Olive? John Shelley says, what's your opinion on a long stroke slant six builds?
My opinion is that the slant six has too much stroke to begin with. And the next phase, the next thing I'm going to work on with the slant six after we've got this one, because I want to go as far as we can with a normally aspirated motor. The next step is to do one based on a 170. So we're gonna run this year. We're gonna use the 225 that we have in there and see what we can get out of it. But the follow-up to that is going to be a 170 based motor because I'm convinced that the 225 has way too much crankshaft.
Thanks, John Wilburn. He put the link up for the t-shirts.
Oh, so did Fubar. Fubar the Axe is always on
Thank
it.
you, Fubar. Patrick Stevens wants to know how's the kitchen after the kitchen series. The kitchen is okay.
We haven't even started it, really.
We haven't done anything yet. Like, I kind of want over with, maybe quickly. When you get in the block.
It'll be a few weeks before it's all done.
Soon. We'll get it done soon. Let Me Be Frank says, got my John Dodge shirt the other day thanks to Uncle Crystal for her hard work. Uncle Crystal is awesome.
Robert Repair, what are you going to do with the duster? Absolutely nothing other than just finish. I want to get the interior nice. I want to get under the hood detailed really nice. And the interior, we're going to do the headliner and I got to change the windshield. The windshield gasket leaks like crazy. But other than that, no plans to do anything with the car except just enjoy it occasionally.
We got have floods in there. It's been raining every single day.
I know.
Boneless Garage says, I'm still waiting on my UTG chicken head pencil.
You didn't send that out yet?
We didn't get
You
any.
told me.
We don't have any. All right, I'll put in an order for new stuff. Now that the spring is coming. Is it very humid in here?
It's very humid.
It's very humid.
Very humid. Buff Del Campo is here listening to the show.
What's up, Buff?
We have this the spirit of Buff Del Campo following us along.
Working with Idiot says, I'm listening. I'm a guy with a 76 Dodge G200 that I'm trying to build into a demo tribute truck. My question is, how hard is it to change the stock alternator for a GM single wire?
I've never done it. I couldn't tell you.
Dakota wants to know, did you get the heads ported for Bottle Rocket? Did you do them any different than the ones already on the car?
The ones that are on the car are 318 heads, or actually the 273 heads. The ones that I'm doing now for the follow-up motor, because remember, I'm not. This engine isn't going to. We're not taking the motor out of Bottle Rocket. We're going to run the motor that's in there until it scatters. This is the replacement motor for it for the future, and I'm going to try to get on a dyno before it goes anywhere near in a car. I'm probably going to try to get on a dyno, but yeah, the porting. I've been porting my ass off. I'm just. You'll see the end results when I'm done with it.
Zero says Kathy and patches. I'll fix some patches. I'm trying to redo all of our logo stuff right now. So, and the website. So that's kind of what I'm working on at the moment.
Robert Repair, I'm looking at one for $1,000, a 75 California car, no interior whatsoever, no dash either or steering column. Is it worth it? Jeez, I don't know. A lot of people would tell you, yeah, because I mean,
Which car?
He's looking for a 75 Duster.
Oh.
But it's a California car, so it's got no rust. So
I just saw a 67 Dart advertised as a California car with no rust, but it had no interior and no steering column. When I heard you saying a steering column.
well, I mean, I'm assuming he's talking about a Duster, but I mean, I would say a good solid roller unibody is worth it. Yeah.
Worth how much?
$1,000.
Okay, this guy wanted 11,000.
Oh, well, that's crazy.
Yeah, and it had a dent after it was just painted, so I don't know about that. Let's see. Quincy says the best way to get parts for free is win races, and win races.
No, the best way to get parts for free is to get exposure. Just because you're winning races doesn't mean you're getting exposure. So it's like, for instance, you could build an NHRA comp eliminator car, right? And literally win everything, set every record, that's it. You're the top of the heap. But nobody knows about it because that class doesn't get exposure. So you want to be in an area, you want to be winning, but you want to be doing it in an area that gets people's attention. And right now, man, unless you're wrapped up with like the whole No Prep Kings deal and all of that, you're not going to get very much exposure.
Alan McElroy says, I've heard some say that distributor shaft wobble can make the timing vary back and forth.
Yes.
Checked with timing light. Can a lathe be used to make the shaft true and have engine run smoother?
Okay, distributor shaft wobble on a Mopar is fairly common. Okay, generally speaking, if you trim the tab, okay, on the distributor. So if you, what I found is when I tighten down a distributor and I get that little bit of a wobble to it, if you just trim the tab and then you run it out through and you put a timing on it, you'll see it's not going to move any. You just want to have a little bit of a cushion between the tab and the gear drive.
Professor Giddens says you need to build something with the greatest hot rod motor of all time, the early Hemi.
Oh man, I tell you, I should. I love early. I got a bug for 354s. 392 is not so much, but the 354 is just such a magic engine. Maybe at some point.
John Henderson says, "Hey Tony, have you ever heard of a super polished forged crank? A race car buddy of mine says he super polishes his cranks. He's doing the Miata crank now. What's super polished?"
Never heard of it. I've never heard of it.
Mm-hmm. Steve Baker says, "Tony, NASCAR, is it over?"
Oh yeah. It's been over for a long time, but now it's really super over.
David Tristan says, "Do you think my stock V6 small block Chevy will survive 200 shot of nitrous and 10 pounds of boost? I already have all the parts sitting on the bench. Just want your opinion on this."
Stock V6 small block Chevy will survive 200. So it's the 228, I assume. Make sure the rings are gapped, man. I mean, just to open up the ring gaps, you should be okay. But I mean, that should be an easy enough engine to replace. Should you scatter it, right? Ring gaps are going to be the important thing on that.
Benjamin C says 354 swap into one of your dusters would be amazing.
We only have one duster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a stock slant, and I am not modifying it or changing it in any way, shape, or form. It's perfect, exactly the way it is.
Let's see. Google Select says, "Tony, if you had your choice of a fun street beater, what would it be and what drivetrain?"
My 67 273 Dart.
Yeah, you love that.
I love that car. It's a perfect street beater.
James Kaiser says, "What engine mods need to be done to burn nitro?"
Let's talk about that on Wednesday. Come back on Wednesday because I can't just spit out. It's too much to be.
Mickey Jordan says, "What letter cam for mid-80s 5-liter daily driver on that?"
There again, come on Wednesday because Dallas knows those engines. He raced Fords for years. He knows those cams inside and out. I couldn't even guess.
Alan McElroy wants to know what exactly you're referring to when mentioning trim. What were you talking about, trim?
I don't know.
I missed it.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
I don't know. Trim in quotation marks. Trim.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Will says, "I have a 1964 Dart and need some help figuring out what engine and trans it had originally."
Look at the VIN number. The fifth digit of the VIN will tell you what motor was in the car originally.
You just go to VIN decoder.
Yeah, go to Mopar, Google Mopar VIN decoder.
Yeah.
And it's the fifth digit. It'll tell you what engine was in there. And your choices are a 170/6, a 225/6, or a 273.
Crazy Neighbor says, "Do you have any interest in other Japanese imports like the Miata, Honda, Toyota, etc.?"
I have interest in anything that catches my interest. So, like I was talking about the Boosted Boys MR2, right? That blew my mind. I mean, that's just off the chain, right? So, my interest just varies on whatever catches my interest, So, you show me a 4-popper in a relatively stock-looking car that runs $170 plus in the quarter, and it's like that is going to catch my attention.
Doug Deacon says, "Can you tell us about your blue Super Bee in your garage or make a video on it?"
It's a Roadrunner, and it's been. Go back and watch the Island of Misfit Mopars. We talked about that car for about 5 minutes in that video.
I took a lot of photos when we were restoring it. They're my old
Did you?
phones. Yeah, they're my old phones.
Yeah, we need to show people
Yeah.
the before and after on that.
SRP says, Tony, we should build a budget 383.
We will. The Gambler 500 is getting a budget 383. I just got a set of 516 heads for it, actually. The plan is to finish the motor that we're doing right now in the kitchen. Then the next thing we're doing is the 383. What?
No.
Well, we're going to do the 383 in the kitchen also.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No.
So the plan is to finish the motor that we're doing in the kitchen. Then the next engine that we do is going to be the 383 that's going in the Gambler car.
What's up, Big Bear?
Todd, thank you.
I'm way behind.
Well, Todd Allen sent $10.
Thank
10
you, Todd.
scottles, baby.
They need to download your brain into a MoPro Wikipedia. Keep on keeping on.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Wow, I was really behind because I'm trying to read everybody's stuff. Oh, drop a slant in the Miata.
I had toyed with that idea.
Robert Repair sent $5.
Thank you, Robert.
Thanks, Tony, for sharing the great MoPro builds. Love the duster and darts.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Good luck with yours.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna try and scroll up a little bit because I was so far behind and read somebody else's. Okay, Curious Yellow Cuda says, hey, you team, my 67 383 is missing a motor mount boss on the driver's side. Is that going to be a problem with the well-built combo in a 71 Cuda?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if it was on the passenger side, I don't worry about it too much. On the driver's side, yeah, that's going to be a problem. You could use one side of an elephant ear setup, you know. I mean, there are ways to get around that, you know what I mean? But you could try welding a boss on. Welding external cast iron is simpler than you think. It's when you're trying to repair cracks or do something like internal structural that you can't weld cast iron, but you might be able to weld a boss back on there. I did that with the motor that's in one of these cars. I don't even remember which car it was. One of the cars that we drive had a boss broken off the bottom of the bottom of the block that the transmission bolts to. And I just welded it on. It's been fine.
MW says, trying to use parts I have laying around. 2GA and 4GA battery cables, heavier on the positive and lighter on the negative.
No, you try to run the same cables, but you don't have to run a negative all the way to the front of the car. Just ground it in the back by the battery, and then make sure you run a good ground strap from the block to the frame. You won't have any problems at all. You don't have to run two. It's actually worse to run the two. You'll have more of an amperage loss running the two cables than you will running just the one cable.
Okay.
Okay, Dakota's been timed out by Fubar.
Pat O'Connor says, Tony, have you ever tried carbon carburetor spacers? They're meant to heat sink to keep your car cooler.
No, I mean I've used aluminum ones to really good. I haven't tried it. I mean, there's people make wood spacers too, and I would think a wood spacer would be even better as an insulator.
Oscar Tim says, Uncle Tony, you're so much like Sneaky Pete, it's uncanny.
I take that as a huge compliment.
Joe Wilburn says, it's staying at Best Western for Carlisle. They're pet friendly. A few of us YouTubers will be staying there.
Yeah, again, man, it all has to do with the masks. If they pull the mask bullshit, I'm not going. What's so funny?
It's just the way you said it.
What?
Yeah, it's just the way you said it. It's funny.
Oscar Walton, any plans for a 400B stroker? Yes, after the 383. We have a lot of stuff lined up. There's enough projects and builds and whatnot lined up with stuff that we've already got, literally to keep going until after I'm dead. So yeah, we've got lots and lots of everything lined up.
Are we gonna go to Carlisle? It's the masks, right?
I don't go any place where you gotta wear a fucking mask. It's that simple.
But if we don't get a room at the Best Western now, then we're gonna be screwed.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't go any place where I got to wear a mask. It just don't happen.
It's hot in here.
It is hot in here.
Yeah, Buck is in chat. He was supposed to be here tonight, but he was still like 500 miles away. He texted me and said he couldn't make it. So he'll be here next week. You need to post a build schedule.
I can't because the way life happens, you remember something, right? We're not a shop, okay? It's me, and Uncle Kathy and our resources over here. And
yeah,
it's literally impossible to schedule these things. They have to happen as they happen, right? And so that's why it's there's no schedule. We can't post a build schedule or anything like that because things are always in flux. They're always changing, and circumstances. Like this last year, we got knocked on our ass because of all this lockdown shit. There was like it just threw everything off by months. So
yeah,
we can't post schedules.
It would be cool, John Wilbur. He says yes, seriously, would like getting together with the UTG crew and crawl out.
It'd be nice, yeah. It would be great, man. I would love to, but like I said, I just don't go any place where they're gonna give me a hassle.
Well, that's for us. Is the first rule of UTG Nest is we don't talk about UTG Nest. Excuse me. That's how we roll down the windows when Man's Treasure says. Oh. Let's see. John Wilburn saying they didn't care about it in 2020. He says, I'd say it won't matter come July. Probably not.
Let's see. But here's the thing, right? I've read on this is what I have to go by, right? I read on the website, okay, that masks are required. Okay. So now I gotta drive 650, 700 fucking miles on the chance that they're not going to be enforcing it. You know what I'm saying? No, I can't do that. So it's the same thing like with Bowling Green. Okay, Bowling Green's only 100 miles up the road, but you know what? It shoots a day in my ass to go there and find out that, you got to wear a fucking mask, right? No, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to do it. It's just period, no question about it. I ain't going to do it.
Jenny Dodson needs help. I'm trying to buy a shirt, but it's saying I don't have any shipping options. Confused. Laugh out loud help. Okay, Channing. We ship everything as USPS, and it's a flat rate. So maybe that's why it's not showing options. I don't know. Maybe did it just when you went to the checkout, did it total everything up? Because it's usually like $5 shipping in the US. So just check on that. I don't know what else would be going on. Thank you, though. Thanks for trying to buy a shirt. Let's see. Chris Horning says, Uncle Tony, I've got a 69 Polara 332 barrel. Carb needs rebuilt, original car, anything to keep an eye out for in the rebuild.
Say that one more time.
I've got a 1969 Polara.
69 Polara.
383 2 barrel.
Okay, it's the Holly 2 barrel.
Carb needs rebuilt.
Excellent carburetor, by the way.
Original Carter.
No, 69 should be a Holly. It doesn't look like a Holly. Well, it could be the Carter version.
Anything to keep an eye out for in the rebuild.
No, they're very, very straightforward. That could be the Carter and the Holly look very similar on those engines, and they swap between the two. The Holly doesn't look like a Holly; it looks like a Carter. But yeah, either one of those. They're 500 CFM carburetors, 485 CFM. They're actually very good carbs.
Welcome in 1978 says, Tony, a while back you mentioned taking the clamps off back half of the leaf springs on cars for traction/launch. Does this work on trucks as well, or just the cars? I'm gonna go quiet them down.
Okay.
Right back.
Trucks, no. Trucks don't have an asymmetrical leaf spring. Trucks have the leaf springs have the axle centered in the leaf spring. If you unclamp, all right, the clamp trick only works on symmetrical leaf spring cars. So that means that the axle is in the forward third of the leaf spring instead of the center of it, okay? When you unclamp the back of the leaf springs on a symmetrical axle, like a leaf spring Ford, leaf spring Chrysler, or a leaf spring Mopar truck, what happens is you're giving you're creating even more of an excuse for the axle to wrap. So do not do it on a truck, but yes, you could do it on any A, B, or C body Mopar. Do not do it on a Ford. Do not do it on a Chevy. Dave Marshall, let me know if you want to race, Tony. I think I'll take your Roadrunner to Gapplebee's. I raced a 3D Plymouth Fury and I won with the secondaries unhooked. Are you close, Dave? Monty, what's going on? Monty Capoletti. There you go. He's a nice Jewish boy. Let's see. Working with idiots. I have a 76 318 pressed fit pistons and rods. I put the wrist pins in the freezer, heated up the rod end, and the piston ear still can't get the wrist pin to go through. What am I doing wrong? Help. Bring it to a machine shop and let them press them. You're gonna end up damaging just bite the bullet and bring it to a machine shop. Let's see. Rick S. I have watched your video about points ignition and have one question. How important is it to clean the point contacts to have a flat surface? It's very important. As the points wear, right, it's going to etch material from one side to the other. Especially, that's one of the things with the condenser. A weak condenser, you could spot it right away if the condenser isn't fully up to snuff, because you'll see that there's a bunch of transfer from one contact point to the other contact point. But generally speaking, yeah, the maintenance on a points car, every 4,000 or 5,000 miles with points that actually don't wear the rubbing block. I'm doing my research on that right now. You take a point file, right? Some people use a finger, like a nail file, like the girls use, but you use a points file and you clean those contacts and then you re-gap them. Do I know the ribbing have gotten over my name? Why, Monty? It's a good name. Where I come from, everybody who's had that name or names like that. Sean the person. Who's your favorite comedian? Sam Kennison. Need metal. Will bigger valves help the slant, or are parts too small? Probably. There's two schools of thoughts on that. I decided to stick with the small size valves, or the stock size valves, because I'm really concerned with the low end. If I was building for top end power, I definitely would have gone with launcher valves. But I'm mostly concerned with how that engine is going to attack from off idle, right, or idle, to where it runs into the converter. And so that's why I kept the valve small, because it's smaller valve, higher velocity, it moves the torque range lower.
Who's talking about Bill Hicks? Danny Boyd.
Babe, you're way off. Way off.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. People need more. Did he smell? Why is she so far away from him?
No, he's in the shower.
I did. I just got out of the shower. I'm all fresh.
SRP wants to know, can you sign the shirt that we're sending him?
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay, but which one is it, SRP? We don't know what order that is. Send me an email and tell me which order that is. UncleTony'sGarage@gmail.com. Let's see. Monty Capoletti. Hello, Kathy. Don't ignore me. Okay, Monty. Tony, where'd you put that 426 Hemi in that you built when you lived in New York?
68 Roadrunner.
Okay, they're talking to each other. Hang on. I'm trying to find a question. Ian wants to know, Ian Peralta. Okay. When are you going, when? Oh my goodness, my brain just like got scrambled. When are you gonna buy eBay Turbo the Miata?
I'm not.
You're not?
I'm not.
Okay. Read for a second. I think it was Monty that messed up my mind. UFOs, Robert Gray. Let's see. Curious Illustrator says the motor mount box is not broken, just missing. Is that something that was specific to 67 big blocks?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, A-body big blocks. Yes. They use a special motor mount on the driver's side. That's what those two bosses, if you look at the front of any big block Chrysler, or 383 especially, from that era, you'll see, if you look at the front of the block, off to the side, you'll see two bosses. And generally they're not drilled. On a factory big block A-body, they are drilled. And because the front motor mount on those engines, on the factory setup, is like that. It bolts up there instead of up on the ear.
Okay, so you can't ignore Monty Capoletti. He says, I know you, Tony.
Okay, where do you know me
He
from?
knows you from Staten Island.
Oh, possibly.
I think the Getty Station, right? I think that's what he had said before.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the
Okay.
Getty Station. Oh, let's see. See, we don't ignore you. Let's see. We're talking to each other. Hang on. That's not a bad thing. Tony, how's it going? You know anyone that could swap a BMW M3 motor into a Z3 Roadster for me?
No, I don't.
Sad wants to know why are you shaking your head?
I'm not shaking my head.
I'm sorry.
I'm just.
What wire cage do I use for my wire harness restoration? And can I use slightly larger wire for replacing smaller ones without issues?
Slightly larger, yeah. If you're doing a restoration, I would stick with the stock gauge wire. If it's a restoration and using all of the factory parts, like your power and the original, lights and the original, windshield wiper and all the other shit, just stick with the stock gauge.
Root More Part 2 says, thanks for following me on Instagram. I just posted some pictures of the roof I'm working on. I started working Instagram, so follow us on Instagram, uncle_Tony's_garage.
I'm gonna try to look at Instagram. I have no idea how to even find Instagram.
I'm still learning how to use it. I had to get Uncle Crystal to help me yesterday or the day before with stories. I was so confused. I was trying to share stories and I was messing up. So I was like, Crystal, help me. Yeah, follow us on Instagram because we're going to post more there. Something that we completely ignored. Instagram is stupid. Well, yeah, maybe. But if you have a YouTube channel, it's kind of helpful. Sean O'Brien says, how do you deal with scope creep on your projects?
Scope creep. I'm familiar with that. That's the first time I've ever heard it actually put in a title, like a word, a phrase. But yeah, I know exactly what that is. Correct
to everybody what it is.
Correct me if I'm wrong, right? But in my mind, scope creep means you look at the car and in your head you say, well, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do the other thing, and it'll be done. But that's how it gets built in your mind. The reality of it is, this doesn't fit, that's got to be replaced. Okay, this and this work, but then I broke that. Okay, so then since I changed that, I have to change this, that, and the other thing because that won't work anymore. So it's scope creep. It's like it's like an onion. The more you get into it, the more complicated it becomes, right? And scope creep is what I live for. Okay, does that make any sense? I don't. It is. I don't do it on purpose. Okay, but I'm happiest, right, when I'm in the middle of a project and something goes wrong. because then it gives me a thing to fix, right? It gives me a hurdle to.
You're happy when things go wrong.
Look, everybody has their own. Everybody has their own thing. Okay, everybody has their own
I
thing.
need something to do. Breathe, damn it.
To me, a finished car is anticlimactic, right? Or a completed project is anticlimactic. I get them finished, but it's the discovery of new issues and then overcoming those issues or those obstacles that.
Do you think subconsciously you create the issues for yourself?
Well,
so that you have something to fix?
Well, I'll tell you what I do. I tell you what I do. I don't subconsciously create problems, but what I do is I intentionally rush into things without thinking about them. She's laughing. Look, I'm telling you how my head works. I'm not saying that your head works the same way or it should work the same way or anything like that. I'm telling you how my head works. Okay? To keep that interest level up, for me, I rush into things without giving them any thought, so that I can have those problems and then master those problems and those hurdles. Does that make any sense? Because to me, that's what the whole thing is about.
That's where the fun is?
That's where the fun is. The fun to me is chipping away at the insurmountable obstacle, right? And so yeah, that's what scope creep is, and I don't deal with it. I live for it. Other people, you see, okay, to me, the challenge is building the device, right? Or perfecting the device, or making the device bigger, better, faster, louder, whatever it happens to be. Other people want the finished device. They're not interested in the journey. I don't want the finished device. Other people are interested they don't care about the journey, they just want the finished product. And so it's like two different mentalities. You see what I'm saying? Does that make any sense?
Max Wedge Dick Dastardly sent me $5.
Thank you.
Buy extra points. I can't make myself through use points anyway. Thank you.
Professor Ginn says he does the same thing. If I thought things through, I wouldn't do them. Bro, I don't think about anything, right? Now, listen to me. So help me, okay? So help me. Here's my witness. Okay, how long are you around me?
Oh, I don't know, long time.
A long time, right? How many years?
1982. I don't know. Okay. How many years is that?
So 39 years she's been around me. How many times, okay, for our audience over here, yeah, how many times have I come in the house and said, I'm starting a new business?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, no, all the time. Or you would go back, you would do magazines, and then you'd go back to cars, and then you'd go back to magazines, and you would go back to cars.
Yeah, and literally, I wake up in the morning, and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. And that's what's going to happen with YouTube eventually. I'm going to wake up in the morning and say, I don't want to do this anymore. And we'll do something else. We'll just go off and do something else. It'll be that fast, and I won't think about it. Let me tell you. So here's my witness.
Okay.
Here's my favorite one. My favorite spontaneity thing. Right? We're driving home from my brother's house in Jersey. Okay, it's 3:00 in the morning, and we're on the Jersey Turnpike. And I said to her, out of the blue, right? I said to her, I want to open a coffee house. She says, why do you want to open a coffee house? I said, I just want a coffee house. I said, find me a place for a coffee house. It's 3:00 in the morning, okay? The next morning, I'm sleeping. She wakes up. She drops the kids off at school, right? She wakes me up with a cup of coffee and says, do you still want a coffee house? I says, yeah. She says, well, there's a storefront for rent in town. I says, go get it. She says, don't you want to see it? I says, no. I says, just go get it. She says, well, what money? I says, oh, there's some money in the bathroom. Go get the money that's in the bathroom, right? So, am I telling the truth?
Yeah, I went and got it that day.
Yeah. So I went back to sleep. So she comes back like an hour later and she says, she's got the keys. She says, you want to see your new coffee house? I said, yeah, let's go. So I went, we opened, we walked through the door. I says, all right, let's go find stuff to put in it. And that afternoon, remember that?
Oh, we went and got the floor. We have to do the floor then.
Yeah, that's how I do things. And then when I'm done with it, right, I'll walk in one day and say, I don't want to do this anymore. And we close and then we do the next thing, whatever it happens to be.
I'm not attached to things too much.
Oh no, I just let things go.
Gabriel says, I watched one of your videos about removing one of the distributor weight springs to get the snappier throttle response.
Yeah.
And I did it, and it works well. Thank you.
Yes. That's old school technology.
What kind of business do you have on store? I can't think about that right now. Oops. Did you make good money from the coffee house? No, it's really not a good business.
Well, no, wait. We never lost money with it.
It supported itself.
It always supported itself, but I always had to do other things to actually make money to live on.
Yeah. Restaurant business is very hard. Like really, really hard.
We had 5 of them.
I don't encourage people to do it. I really don't.
We had one in New York City, and then when we moved down here, we had 4 of them down here in Tennessee. Each one of them lasted about 2 years, and I get tired of it. I enjoy setting the business up. I enjoy getting it going and doing all that stuff. And then once it's done, I get tired of it. It's just like, okay, I don't feel like doing this anymore,
Michael
and we
says
stop.
Tony's going to give up his channel and specialize in neons. Are you? No, Tony's not quitting YouTube. No,
I'm not quitting YouTube. I'm going to be in YouTube for a while. But again, see, at some point, I'm going to look at it like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. And that day, I'll stop doing it.
Well, we have to find something else we want to do.
Yeah. Well, we would take a break.
It's not good to take a break from YouTube.
No, I mean, like, if we decided to not do YouTube anymore.
Yeah.
We'd take a break for like a week.
A week? Take a break for
and then figure out what the next thing is.
Chicken farm.
I do like chickens.
No, nobody's quitting YouTube. No. We're not quitting YouTube.
No, I'm not quitting YouTube. What I'm saying is there's going to come a time.
See, now you got people saying
no. We're not quitting YouTube. We're not quitting YouTube.
Rampant.
What I'm saying is there will come a time somewhere down the road where this just doesn't excite me anymore and we'll do something else.
Well, you could do a completely different YouTube channel.
Possibly.
You don't have to quit YouTube.
No need, metal. I am not leaving YouTube. See, that is going to be the rumor everywhere, right? Oh, Tony's leaving YouTube. No, read my lips. I am not leaving YouTube. We're going to be doing YouTube for a while. At some point in the future, in an undetermined point, but for right now, I'm doing YouTube. We're all in on YouTube.
Oh my gosh, Tony. Oh. He's getting tired of his channel.
No, I'm not. That's everybody. They hear what they want to hear. They don't hear what you actually say.
Tony takes over SpaceX. Curious Yellowkid says, should I just chain it down or try to weld the boss into the block? Hello?
Oh, yeah, what? Who?
Curious Yellowkid. Should I just chain it down or try to weld the boss onto the block?
Oh, well, I wouldn't chain it down. I'll tell you what I have used, and you'll love this. You're gonna love this, okay? The braces that they put on a small block between the transmission and the engine, okay? I can show you. Oh, I can't show you. I should do it. You can make a torque strap out of that, right? What you do is, you can use that, bolt one end to the K-frame and bolt the other end to the engine. Obviously, you're gonna have to do some twisting. You have to do a little bending. You have to maybe re-drill a hole to get everything lined up where you want to be. But those things make great engine brackets. I have one on the 67 Charger because that's just got the regular stock sandwich mounts on it. And I used a brace from a 727, a 360, and a 727, and I bolted that on there. And so you could do something similar to that with your instead of having to go weld the boss on there.
Brett Einhorn says, I miss you throwing car parts. You need to throw some more stuff.
I don't have any car parts to throw.
Oh, brother. Brian Cabrales run Tony off YouTube. See, this is what, you have to be careful what you say. If you do chicken farming, can we get a daily bit of Trudy doing burnouts leaving the farm? Sure. Catfish and Chris says, I'm back. My neighbor is drunk standing outside in his underwear.
Congratulations.
Fee says that Uncle Tony, so you'll stop at an undetermined date. So you might actually put next week. Why don't you love us anymore? Is it something we said?
Oh, I love you guys. I really do.
We appreciate you guys. I'm not ignoring you, Monty.
I'm so grateful for you guys. I mean, seriously, I'm grateful because
You
this is
wouldn't
like.
have a channel if you guys didn't watch it. Joe K says you're not keeping these live videos posted after anymore. Usually go back and listen to them if I miss anything. Usually for like a day.
Yeah, we leave them up for a day and then we take them down.
Yeah. Breaking news, UTG rolls down windows. Quitting YouTube and going to Spotify for that Rogan money.
I've looked at that, kinda, a little bit.
What? Spotify?
Doing the Rogan thing. I bet you I could.
Oh, you want to do political stuff?
I could.
You did mention that.
Well, he doesn't just do political stuff, but.
Yeah, right. Let's see. You all should get into dinting chickens. What's dinting? If you know what you're doing, you can make killer money, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. I don't know what dinting a chicken means.
Wayne Ferguson. Because people keep asking about that. No, Wayne, why did you delete? Who deleted that? John Wilburn, don't delete that message. Undelete that message, please.
What happened?
Wayne Ferguson was asking about the engine build with Brian.
Oh. I don't know how to undelete it. What is the pace?
Wayne Ferguson, post that question again.
I can read it.
Oh, okay.
Was it the pace of that live 318 build with Brian? Why his wrong size bearings not double checked? Because you were the pace of it because it was. The pace of it
was definitely part of it, but the idea was, see, and this is the part that people understand. If you go back and you watch the beginning, the introduction of that video, okay, not like what happened afterwards or anything. Go back and watch the actual introduction of the video, which is up. You can watch it anytime you want. The whole point of that was to build whatever he brought and send it in whatever condition it ends up in. We were going to do our best, but whatever it happened to be. So, like, for instance, let's just say, for example, right, he only brought 7 pistons and rods. If I didn't have another piston and rod in there, that engine was going to go with 7 pistons and rods. It didn't make any difference. We were going to send whatever we came up with. What he brought down, so basically, what I'm trying to say is, he brought down a crank that was cut 10, and he brought standard bearings. All right, fine. That's not the point. The point is, that's what he brought. That's what we had. That's what was going to go. It would not have made any difference. So let's say it was the other way around. Let's just say he had brought a standard crank and 10 over bearings. We would have taken sandpaper and we would have fucking clearanced the bearings to get the thing to fit, to get it to go. That was the whole point of that thing.
Need Metal says, why is Tony looking to leave YouTube?
I'm not looking to leave YouTube. they're going to bust my chops over this now.
All right, the Golden 67 says, why did Buick shape the heads on a nail head like they did? The springs are closer to the intake than the rocker arms. The spark plugs are above the manifolds? Question marks, exclamation
The
marks.
nail head has, so on every other engine, you find the push rods are in the valley, okay, on the valley side, and the valves are on the exhaust side. Well, on the nail head, the valves are on the other side of the rocker. So the push rods come out like this, and then operate the valves in a pretty much straight up and down position. And why did they do that? I don't know. It might have been to get an angle that they were shooting for between the valves, an interface between the valves and the piston. That's the only thing I could think of. You know, they wanted it to be completely linear for whatever reason. But no, it's just something they tried, and it worked.
Tobias Wilson says, is it necessary to drill out the oil galley to the mains in a 440?
No, the mains on a 440 are perfectly adequate size just the way they are.
Donna, when the English say, we miss you already. See what you've done? Do you see what you've done? EG 24 Hours says, what is Uncle Tony's preferred decade for Mopar pickups? 70s?
Yeah, I like the 60s. I like the swept line stuff, I think.
Chris Lopez says, what's up, UT? I'm almost ready to fire off my first motor rebuild, UTG inspired. Awesome. His first motor rebuild.
Congratulations.
Oh, goodness. Sean says, I'm heading home with a 67 Barracuda roller tonight, won't sleep tonight.
Congratulations. Nice.
Nice. GM says, hey Tony, I'm doing a cam swap in my 3-3. I need lifters and any suggestions on what brand to use or avoid?
I'm gonna take the careful way out of this and say no. There's no recommendations I can make. I see everybody getting bit everywhere. I just saw a thing on I was scrolling through Facebook, which I don't do very much anymore, but I was scrolling through Facebook, and somebody had posted a shot of 4 lifters from like the biggest name in camshafts and lifters and everything right now, and they were fucking toast, all 4 of them. So I have no opinion on that.
Dakota says, do slant sixes get okay gas mileage if you're building for good gas, or better off going with the 273 or 318?
You know, honestly, for gas mileage, I would probably build a 273. Not that the 220, not that the slant six doesn't get good gas mileage, but it's a little overworked in a lot of situations. So if I was building, especially an automatic transmission, with a manual transmission, I would say the slant has a little bit of an edge. But if you're building an automatic and you're going for gas mileage, I would do a 273.
Brett Einhorn wants to know, Tony, you hate electrical or you don't know it well, or both?
I know it too well.
You don't enjoy doing it.
I don't enjoy doing it.
No.
I minimize everything.
Right. Let's see. SD says, what's your opinion on the future of the classic car market?
Straight up. I think because it's a global thing. The classic American car is a global status symbol. So it doesn't matter what country you're in. You could be in China, you could be in Russia, you could be anywhere on Earth, right? And a 1960s, some late 50s, all through the 60s into the early 70s, American car is a status symbol. It's a global status symbol, and that's not going to change in our lifetimes. So I would say that you're looking at a market that's just going to keep going up.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to kick you.
I thought you were.
No, I was stretching my leg. Sorry. I'm kicking Uncle Tony. Craig wants to know, what's the max compression ratio with today's crack gas?
Oh, you can't answer that question, because static compression ratio and dynamic compression ratio and combustion chamber size and type are all variables in that. So yeah, that's not an answerable question.
J.O. the car guy says, I hear that Pontiac engines have bad oiling systems. How did guys combat that back in the day?
Pontiacs don't have a bad oiling system compared to, let's say, a Buick. Buicks have a really bad oiling system. It's not that the Pontiac oiling system is bad, it's just the bearings are really big on it. For some reason, they use giant diameter bearings. So it takes a lot of volume to keep those engines happy. But then again, they're not really designed for, the cylinder heads and whatnot aren't really designed for super high RPM use either. So the Pontiac bottom ends get a bum rap because of the armor cast rods, right? They used cast connecting rods, okay, for a while. Armor cast, they call them. And those things would just shatter, right? So Pontiac bottom ends get a bad rap from that. Now, I don't know what year they stopped doing that, but it was far enough into, let's say, the performance era that Pontiac bottom ends got a bum rap because of that.
Okay, Joel Todd is asking, Tony RE, defective/early death of the points wipers. Is there a material/aftermarket solution the Shade Tree guy could use/adapt?
Tomorrow, I'm doing a follow. We're going to do a follow-up video on that because a lot of you guys ask. First, a lot of people want to see Paige's Nova, and I want to show Paige's Nova. And also, I want you. There's something about Paige you understand. She's already built an engine, right? So we're going to do something just to give some background on that because a lot of people ask, a lot of people are curious. But there will be a follow-up video. Tomorrow, I'm going to round up a bunch of different points from different manufacturers. I'm going to run around town, get as many different ones as I can, and we'll compare the different manufacturers.
Dave NHLA says, how much power does it take to bust a 741 case 8 3/4?
Bro, you got to be dead hooking like a 4,000-pound car with 600 horsepower to break that. I mean, honestly. Professor Gins, why would anybody choose to use points? Obsolete and inferior? Come on, Gins. Okay, you're a blow nitro guy. I'm a blow nitro guy. Gins, when I left Top Fuel in 1998, right? What were we using to trigger the magnetos on those cars?
Didn't answer yet.
Oh, he will.
Oh, he will. Professor Ken says they never ran an early Mac.
We were Super Mag 5.
He must have had more money than you.
Gosh, we were running Super Mag 5s. What triggers a Super Mag 5?
Brett Einhorn says that was 20 years ago, Tony.
Brett, it's also more voltage than you'll ever use on any type of street application.
Professor Ken says I used a Super Mag 10.
Okay, but when I stopped, it was a Super Mag 5, and that's what we were using. Points. In fact, I got a set of points for one sitting on the shelf inside.
What's up, Jason T? Number says, Uncle Tony, I noticed the same with points and condensers, but good thing I have had good luck with the last set on my 51. Can I have a drink of that water? My voice is.
Oh yeah, I need a drink of water too. The water.
Excuse me. Sean McPherson wants to know how much does a drum of nitro cost?
I don't know, a lot. I know it's currently kind of insane.
Curious Olivia says, thanks, Tony. Sounds like you should make a video. By the way, it's a 4-speed.
I'm not even sure what he's talking about.
He's talking about the. You've been talking to him about the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness.
The motor mount.
Thank you.
Anyone know if steel wheels for a 70 Hemi Cuda were available in all colors since Steve's got? Yes. Any color that you painted the car came painted in the 15 by 6.5. The steel wheels were painted that body color.
Tony, is that vodka you're drinking?
No, it's water.
To me, huh?
It's water.
No, Logo, it's water.
A gallon of RC Nitro is $58. Yeah, but it's only 15%.
Jamo's Hot Rod says I want to say $1,800 for a drum.
That's probably about right.
What was it back in the 90s?
We were paying $900 to $1,000 a drum.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was expensive.
Yeah.
I'm losing my voice, Tony. Have you ever thought of having a live chat on YouTube?
We've given some thought about doing lives on YouTube. But honestly, I don't think it's worth doing.
Lives?
Yeah, I don't think it's worth doing live.
No. You only get 40 gallons in a 55-gallon drum, he says.
42 gallons, I think, is the current fill.
Colleen says, how about 1,500 miles on my VW points? So far, so good. MJW says, Tony, I found an old Mallory Boltmaster Mark II. Is it a decent coil?
Oh, I love, yeah, those are good coils. But make sure it's good. You know what I mean? Obviously, hook it up and make sure it's going to throw a bright blue spark. But yeah, those are good coils.
He says, wait, this is a live on YouTube, right?
What?
A live?
We're live right now? I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Kids, you have about 10 gallons sitting in the garage for about 12 years. Well, you can burn it, man. There's your excuse to build another car, bro.
When's up to tell you to sign my Mopar garage wall? I need some national treasure flair. Or you gotta go to Jason T's house and go sign his garage wall.
Give me your address.
You gonna go drive that?
If he's in Nashville, I would go there right now.
He's not in Nashville.
Oh.
I'm sure he's not in Nashville. Let's see. They're talking to one another. Rob Boyd says, need help swapping my cam. Anyone in Atlanta? We're a little far from Atlanta. Forget the live chats. Does Nitro ever go bad?
We had it where it smelled moldy, like.
But you use it.
But we use it anyway, and it burns really the same.
The Dirty Mouse wants to know how much was the train car worth of Nitro?
Oh, geez, I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I don't remember.
Colleen Kiba says, sending a package to your storage unit. Check mail on Wednesday.
Okay.
We're gonna check the mail. Thank you. Okay, Colleen. Big Red, Channel 20 says, UTG, I need a built 8 3/4. How much? I'll come pick it up.
I don't sell parts.
But we have a bunch in the attic.
Yeah, well, okay. I sell. We're having just gonna run it on Facebook Marketplace just because I got a bunch of like random odds and ends. But
should go up there
yeah, like I'll sell steering wheels and like things like that. Yeah. I got to get rid of a lot of shit. I got so much crap cluttering up my life.
You have a lot of clutter.
I got a lot of clutter. So yeah, but I don't sell. I don't do work of any sort or sell components to anybody.
Professor Gann says most people don't know, but Oklahoma bombing was actually a drum of nitro.
2 drums of nitro.
Yep. That's where our phone was tapped.
That's why my phone was tapped.
Yep. Click, click, click. It's true though. Are you gonna get pet donkeys? No. No. Chickens are enough. The dogs and chickens are enough. Have you ever run alcohol?
No, I've never run alcohol.
Let's see. David Clark says, what do you think 1985 Chrysler Fifth Avenue with an 11-to-1 440 with a purple 488 284 GC cam, 4-speed auto with overdrive, 390 gear. I have it all. What do you think?
Sounds like a happy car.
Yeah. 4-speed, Fifth Avenue? Oh, 4-speed auto. Is it hot in here?
It's getting better.
Harry Australia says, good day from Adelaide.
Good day, Harry.
Nitro phone tap, what's here? No, like that.
I told the story already.
Yeah, you told the story. It had happened, the bombing had happened, but like his cousin sells chemicals, like that's her business. Like, so he called her to find out about getting nitro, because she sells like all the chemicals for Miracle Grow, this big company. So he was making phone calls trying to buy like a trainload of nitro.
I was trying to buy a railroad car full of nitro.
Other
right.
racers, and like the phone was clicking. So
it was beeping.
It was beeping. Yeah. The phone was tapped because trying to buy nitro. Let's see.
Okay. So Craig Chido, just checking the nitro price is around $70 a gallon, a 42-gallon barrel price. So here's what I'm waiting for. Okay, I'm waiting for the rest of the NHRA to just collapse and circle the bowl, and it puts all of these nitro cars out of business, and they've all got tons of this stuff stockpiled. So once it has no more demand anymore, my plan is to go out and buy as much of it as I can. That's my plan.
What?
Well, the NHRA's days are numbered. So the whole top fuel fund, like Schumacher's probably got a warehouse full of fucking nitro. There's all of this nitro that's dedicated to those. They're only going to be around for another year or two. So at that point, at best. So at that point, I plan on going out and buying as much of this unwanted nitro as possible, and that's what we'll run partial of.
Just go buy a barrel of nitro.
Do you know how fast you go through a barrel of nitro for $1,500?
You don't have to wait for that to happen.
I'm gonna wait for that to happen. I'm gonna go buy a bunch of it. Yeah, Kalita has thousands of drums, right?
Tony hears phone clicking.
It's actually a beep, and it happens every, like, I forget what the interval was, every like 90 seconds you'll hear beep.
This is in the 90s.
Yeah, well, that's what it was.
Yeah. How do you build a nitro motor? The Golden 67 wants to know.
You get your Ouija board out, and, you know.
The dogs are trying to get in. John Pastor wants to know, where's the grindstone, Gigi?
I was beating on the grindstone all morning, bro.
Professor King says the actual nitro is the cheapest part of running a nitro car.
Yeah, clutch stuff is like the crazy part. You guys have no idea. You guys have no idea. Between clutches and pistons, who said you're ready to run a nitro car when you can take $100 bills, light them on fire, and not flinch? That's about the truth.
Brad O'Connor wants to know, have you ever played around with a 4 Weber manifold on any of your V8s?
I have not.
They're talking to each other.
Okay. They're talking amongst themselves.
Amongst themselves, yeah. Let's see. Gone are the days of mom and pop nitro cars.
We were really the last of them.
Dakota wants to know, have you ever had a Ford 390 that would fall out of a tree? Or are they just engines? Dad built one before I was born with Edelbrock RPM heads that he got a deal on and all the goodies. And he said it.
Finish your thought, Dakota.
Do you know how hard my job is, Dakota? He said it.
Before somebody times you out, finish that thought.
All right, Dakota.
No, I've never messed with diesels, Nicholas.
When we laundry storing nitro does sound fun though.
Oh, that's lots of fun. Yeah, blow up your house.
Big fireball. Really huge. BC Doogie says, any experience with Blueprint Crate engines, looking at their 500/500 396 small block Chevy.
I have no experience with them.
Delicious says, hell yeah, I just purchased my first VTG shirt and stickers. Awesome, thank you. That any woman I encounter now will turn into a drooling, insatiable love slave, and I'll strike fear into my opponents and enemies. Thank you.
That's exactly what happens.
Thank you.
Also, you'll find that higher alien intelligences will begin to try to contact you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very common.
What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Website for your furniture building neighbors. We have our furniture building neighbors.
Oh, they've been gone for about. They're someplace. I haven't seen them in like almost a month. I have no idea where they're. All their stuff is there, but they're not.
Shaky Hand says, Tony really enjoyed the last cylinder head stream. Looking for a blue steering wheel for my son's 71 Dart Custom 318. Let me know if you have one in the attic.
I have a blue one, but it's really not very nice.
We have a bunch of steering wheels, don't we?
Yeah, but she asked about a blue one.
Yeah.
I do have a blue one for that car, but it's really not. It's not worth the shipping, honestly.
Really? Is that bad?
Yeah.
Why think Oldsmobile get the turbo 3.8 like Buick?
Yeah, I don't know. And you would think, whereas Oldsmobile was the first with Chevy was first with the turbocharger with the Corvair, but the Oldsmobile had the turbo in 1862. So you would think that, but yeah, no, Buick was the dedicated turbo division in the 70s.
Eric Good says, you mentioned during an earlier post of faulty points. What points do you recommend for the bang for the buck?
I'm working on that. Seriously, we're going to follow up video tomorrow. I've got to round up a bunch of different sets of points to see what we got.
Cheese Club Rockabilly says, I'm a young fellow wanting to get his feet wet in terms of finding a classic rig. The area that I live in is scarce. Unable to find a rig under 1,500. Any suggestions?
Well, it's kind of hard to find anything under $1,500 wherever you are. Geez, I don't know, bro. You just gotta hunt. You just gotta hunt. You know.
How soon to the Miata project?
If you had asked me that a month ago, I would have said, well, it'll be in by the middle of February. But here we are going into March, and it's not in yet. So it's soon.
Did you refine your super restricted stock class idea any further?
No, there was no real positive feedback on that. So I just kind of like withdrew it from my head.
Car market is so inflated for everything right now. Is it?
It's not going to get cheaper. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
There's anything from the classic era is pure gold. Gins, we're doing a thing on that 215, like a whole video on the 215 and the evolution of the 215.
It's moving too fast. Can you handle Mazda metric bolts and tools?
Yeah, you forget I was a mechanic. I have no problem.
What fuel injected vehicles have you owned? Miata and Mustang?
Oh, a bunch of different ones. I had a couple of Rangers. Oh God, I'd have to think about that. But I mean, we've owned probably a couple of dozen different fuel injected things over the years.
Jason T says, I'm worried 20 years in the future we won't be able to find gas because the government is pushing so hard for electric.
Don't stress it. It's not going to happen.
You don't think so?
No, it's not going to happen. It can't happen.
People are worried about that.
I know. If everybody's worried about that, oh, everything's going to go electric cars. Oh, GM is coming into it. Yeah, don't stress it. It's not going to happen. Don't stress it. The reality of that situation is what you saw happen in Texas this last couple of weeks ago, which was absolute tragedy. But that's the reality of it. That's that's not the pie in the sky speculating and all the other shit. The reality of it is we do not have the electrical infrastructure and cannot build the electrical infrastructure in the amount of time that it would take for all of these grandiose electronification plans.
Maybe 100 years from now.
Maybe 100 years from now, but it ain't gonna happen in your lifetime, brother man. Don't worry about it.
My engine seems, Kyle says, my engine seems to have a lean stumble/cough under light acceleration, but seems fine when you punch it. How about?
Could be, yes. Yes. It's Holly, obviously.
Need Metal says Elon Musk says in 40 years. Okay.
It would take at least 40 years to build out the grid to that extent.
David McCauley sent $5.
Thank you, David.
Happy birthday. Love to all the uncles. Thank you, David.
Thank you. Oh, it's his birthday. Happy birthday.
Whose birthday?
Mike Moyer.
Who?
Mike Moyer.
Oh, happy birthday.
When did I stop being a mechanic for a living? When I got into the parts business. So it's probably about 12 years ago now.
Next vegetate dastardly says, with small shot of nitro at 426 with new rings factory gap. Nitro or nitrous?
Say that one more time?
It's spelled Nitros.
Okay,
so
nitrous.
Nitrous.
What does he want to do?
With a small shot of nitrous at 426 with new rings factory gap.
Small shot, no. Like 50, 75, no, you're okay. Anything more than that? Yeah, no. Complete toilet garage. You work for a dealership or private garage. Always self-employed.
What's up, Vince in New Jersey? Maybe give Mike something you won. I did win something, right? Sierra said.
What do you want? Did you send him the last
I did,
one?
yeah. I sent him a sticker and a patch. The AHRA sticker and patch. It's
Okay.
been in the mail. Who did you win, Zero? Who did Zero win? Who do we have?
Oh, he had to win something.
I just cleaned up in here. I don't have.
What was that shirt that it says again?
Which one? What shirt?
There was something the other day. I says, here, we got to send us to Zero. You won this.
What was it?
I don't remember.
A shirt?
Yeah, we were sitting on the couch.
What shirt are you talking about?
It was maybe it wasn't a shirt. I don't remember what it was. But remember I says, here, Zero won this.
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, fuck. I'll remember. I'll remember what it was.
We'll find something. A block of cheese?
Do you give bulk discount for T-shirts? What's bulk?
Didn't you work at a dealership for one day or half a day? 2 weeks. You did it for 2 weeks. Zero says, well, I tried, Mike. So what do you want to give Mike? Zero wants us to give Mike something for his birthday.
Well, we have to figure out what Zero won first. Then send it to Mike.
What do we have? Oh, wait.
Where do we go? Okay.
I cleaned out the drawer.
Oh, shit.
We have some stickers.
Zero, you want some stickers?
Yes.
Oh, we have, oh, somebody had made these up when we were gonna do the,
Yeah.
when we were gonna do the Ram charge with the 366, like somebody had made these up for us.
Mac Diesel Dude
Mac Diesel Dude on eBay.
Can you see that?
So you got some, oh man, wow, what a
Mac
nice assortment
Diesel
of
Dude on eBay.
different 360 decals. This is, oh, Zero won this, send this to Mike. Congratulations, Zero, and not bad.
So who's getting the Zero or Mike? Huh?
I just send them to Zero and Zero send them to Mike.
Oh, that seems convoluted. All right.
But everything we do is convoluted.
Well, how's he gonna get Mike's address?
Anthony Perna. I have an old set of ET Unilug slots. I love those. With the little crime pieces that go behind the lugs. Is there any way to get them to stop vibrating?
Zero says Mike gets them. All right, Mike.
I don't know.
Send me your address at uncletonysgarage@gmail.com.
Okay.
Very funny, Zero.
All right.
Zero's on mailing thing. I got a zero.
Oh.
Ever thought of having a UT marketplace for your subs to sell by? Oh, I don't know. That would be hard, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like on the website, that would be really difficult to set up. At least for me, like we would have to hire someone. Because right now, I do it by myself. We don't hire a web person.
Matt Horn, are you going to go four-wheel drive in the Gambler 500 value or keep it two-wheel drive? Definitely two-wheel drive. I have zero interest in having to deal with a transfer case and live front axle and everything else. I want a really fast two-wheel drive off-road thing.
Hot glue keeps them from vibrating? What? Did I miss something?
And something he was talking about his unilugs.
Oh, okay.
But I don't really know what he's talking about as far as keeping it from vibrating.
He says, my family's in the printing business. My dad took over his dad's printing press in Union Holler. Oh, very nice. What's up with Dave Ranch? UT, who's your favorite drag racer?
Professor Gins.
Professor Gins?
Yes.
Tell us about your top fuel days.
We've already we've talked about it too much.
What happened to the cooking channel? I'm working on this channel, and then Uncle Crystal's channel is next. So right now, that's taking up all my brain power. Don't point at me. Smash that like button. Thanks, 672 Galaxy. Thanks, Vicky Falling. NOS points. Chuck says NOS points, exclamation point.
Yeah, if I can find them, but tomorrow I'm going to run around to the different stores and see how many different brands I can round up and compare them. Because there is a lot of interest in that video.
Donovan the English says 62 Valiant gas tank. Is it year specific?
No, I think 60 up to 67, because 67 still has the transverse strap. The filler neck is in the same place on the 62. It has transverse. No, and the spare tire. No, you can use any 8-body tank up to 67 has the strap, the indent that runs across the bottom, and then you can even use a later one if you just use a slightly longer strap or a longer hanger.
Mean Metal says, why are you leaving YouTube?
I'm not leaving YouTube.
Dave Marshall says, Tony, I'm in Mayfield, Kentucky. When are we racing?
Bring it right now.
Right now. Complete Toilet Garage says, YouTube question. I've been trying to grow my channel. How many live streams you do before you had any real watchers?
Well, we still don't because we don't advertise.
Yeah,
we don't promote
on our live streams.
Yeah.
Other channels do.
Yeah, if you're trying to get, we try to keep the crowd manageable, and we average between 250 and 350 people on at a time with this. But if you're trying to build your numbers, you have to set it as like a premiere. You know what I mean? So that people know a couple of days in advance that you're going to be live, and then that's the way you'll build population. But then what happens is when you get it too big like that, because we've had them where we've got like 500, 600, 700 people on at a time, and the questions just go like this, and you don't really get to interact with anybody. Yeah, then people get mad at you.
Why are you ignoring me?
Right.
Dave Marshall says, Tony, please don't quit YouTube.
We're not quitting YouTube. Relax.
Jason T says, Uncle Tony is leaving YouTube. I see Tim, is Uncle Tony on YouTube? Serious?
Okay, I'm done with YouTube right now.
No, we're not leaving YouTube. Gold Coast Auction says, hey, Uncle Tony, need help.
Okay, what help do you need?
Let's see. What's YouTube? No, we're not leaving. Right, Tony?
No, we're not leaving.
Okay. Tony, quit saying you're leaving YouTube.
Wait.
What?
Okay, Anthony Perrin was, okay. It's supposed to be chrome, not crime. The wheels have a unilug slot, but then an oblong chrome washer, right? It kind of creates a bolt pattern, but they always feel out of balance. They shouldn't. Okay, the thing that holds the unilug wheels in place is the diameter of the shank, okay? The unilug washer is important, okay? But the thing that keeps them actually from moving around and beating that out is the shank diameter. The shank diameter of the lug nut has to be exact. If you've got that, and also the center register has a lot to do with it too. You have to make sure that the register in the back of the wheel is compatible with the register on the hub of the wheel of the axle that you're putting it on. But I mean, generally speaking, if you have lug nuts to have the correct diameter shank to fit that unilug pattern, and then you use those washers, you really shouldn't vibrate at all.
Tony, come back to YouTube. We missed you.
All right. You know what? I'm going to end my YouTube retirement.
You are?
We're going to come back to YouTube.
Okay. Dave Marshall says, Tony, I'm from Mayfield, Kentucky. Give me a time and place, and I'll be there. A race bottle rocket, your Roadrunner, all of them. There ain't much that can hang with my old Galaxy.
Oh, bro, I tell you what, you just come out here to Murfreesboro and we'll do something. But first you got to start at the bottom. First, you got to race Mrs. Landy. If you beat Mrs. Landy, then you race the box truck. If you beat the box truck, then you race the GT. If you beat the GT, then you race Swiss Swing. So you gotta climb the ladder, bro. You know.
Vehicle Ranch says, I've been listening for a while, but sandbagging. I truly think this should be a chicken channel. Yeah.
Vegas comeback special. Yeah, we should do that. We should go. Yeah, we should go to Vegas, right, yeah, and do a UTG comeback. What do you think? No.
Vegas?
Vegas.
All right. If you wanna.
We could.
Robert just gets us to know, are you driving your 67 Charger? Actually, that model is a badass mo car. I like it. It hasn't moved.
It hasn't moved. But I honestly, right, a couple of days ago, I was looking at, I picked up some primer for it, so I'm gonna reprime it. So I gotta sand it down and give it a fresh coat of primer. And the exhaust, I cobbled together the exhaust that's in that car literally, and it was just laying around. I was like, okay, I gotta put an exhaust in this car just so I could like run around a little bit.
Is it raining in your house?
So I have an exhaust over at the shop that I'm going to put in it, and I probably would have done that. No. We're gonna do some stuff with the Charger and that white '73 Roadrunner that's in the driveway also.
What's the fastest car in your fleet?
I don't even know. What's the fastest car in our fleet? Probably Bottle Rocket. At the moment. Neither of them are sorted, so I don't know.
Why do people think you're leaving when you're not? Tony?
I don't even know. I'm
What?
Anthony for Alternator. The washers came with acorn nuts as a set, but hub opening of the wheel is larger than the ones on the rear or spindle. Should I try hub-centric rings? Yes.
Art Mallory says, best car to invest in now. Hmm. Hello?
Who, what?
Our Mallory says, best car to invest in now.
Best car to invest
You're not
in.
paying attention.
I'm watching this guy, Dave Marshall, right? Shut up, John. I'll race whatever streetcar you got. Where are you at? Come over to Mayfield, Kentucky, and bring some money to put where your mouth is, you punk.
What?
I don't know. He's a
What
big talker.
evil do you have? You didn't run your mouth?
No, he's talking about John.
Oh.
John Dunn wrote a check his ass can't cash.
John Wilbur?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
I missed it. How long you been on?
Oh, 2 hours and 15 minutes. That's why.
That's why. That's why we're missing it. Gold Coast Auction says, Uncle Tony helped me start my slant 6 properly. I thought that.
How would you want me to do that, my friend? How?
Who else is in Kentucky? What's his name in Kentucky? Shawanda.
Gary.
Gary's in Kentucky. You can race Gary.
Yeah, I got somebody you can race, Dave.
Look at your face. What do I need to replace on a slant 6 so you can start it? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, look, I tell you, I'm a pretty smart guy. I'm a pretty smart guy, but I'm not a psychic. I just don't have that ability.
You just slant 6 with left finger sinks when you're Tennessee.
Done.
I'll run that car straight through your trailer park. I haven't before. Ask me why I have no grill and dented fenders on my car.
Do I hold the pedal down when you start it? Pump it 3, 4, 5 times. Hold the pedal halfway down, crank it. That's generally, you have a stubborn car, you know what I mean, with a cold start and the thing doesn't want to go. 3, 4, 5 times. Hold it halfway down, crank it. See if that works.
What's up, Ron Moore? Ron is on.
Hey, Ron, what's going on, brother, man?
Wake up.
I'm starting to fade.
My voice is going away.
Any alternatives to Bitcoin worth investing in? Buy silver. Go buy silver.
Don't give people.
I'm giving people financial advice. Go buy silver. Don't buy paper silver. Don't buy SP. Don't buy physical silver. Go buy physical silver.
You're not qualified to do that.
I'm qualified to do whatever the fuck I want.
Oh my goodness. Ron says Super Rotor out for cruise tonight. Awesome.
Awesome.
Very cool. What? Is this whole chick a loony? No, I don't think so.
A loony? No. He's interesting, but a loony, I wouldn't call him a loony.
Good night, David.
Good night, Dave.
Go to bed. Uncle Tony, since you won't build a truck, can you still educate us on Dodge trucks, the oddball stuff? Caravans, specs, and like the old 600 series, W2 speed rear ends, etc.
I love my Caravan. I love it. It's, but the thing is, like, I could do videos on it, but there's no interest in stuff like that. It's like there's 12 people who are going to watch it. There's a lot of things like that. I have a lot of things that I love that are like really obscure that like people would have absolutely no interest in. So that's why we don't do videos like that.
Is it raining? Are we getting any rain? Yeah, it's pouring right now. I keep saying my workers. Are we done?
Buy plutonium. Don't buy plutonium. What?
No, yeah, don't forget. You know Dolce Junior fiber?
No.
You are underestimating, Tony. I say try the truck videos.
We did. We did a video with the caravan once, and didn't really get very much interest. So.
What's up, Wilford again? Adam White says everything's fine. I'm back. Good. Is e-booger still around?
I have no idea. The last time I talked to e-booger was 1988, I think it was.
I'm fading fast time.
You fading?
Yeah, my throat hurts.
All right.
Yeah, I'm losing my voice.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna wrap it up.
Allergies or whatever.
We're gonna wrap it up in a couple of minutes.
Master 60 Bel-Air Rat says, just wanted to say thanks. Your advice about my timing on my 60 Bel-Air was right on. Thanks again.
Awesome, thank you. All right. Yeah, Danny, I know trucks are popular on YouTube, but they're not popular with our audience. See, so here's how this works, right?
Maybe you get a bigger audience.
Well, here's how this works. So you put out a video. You can package it. I'll keep going.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, because my throat really hurts. I gotta get to something. I think it's allergies.
You put out a video,
Guys.
okay? She's saying good night to everybody. You put out a video, and depending on how the video hits in the first 24 hours is whether or not YouTube pushes it out. So if it doesn't get big response in the first 24 hours, the video goes nowhere. So we try to do videos that are going to get good hits in the first 24 hours. The truck stuff that we've done, because our sub base, our subscriber base, isn't really into them, don't get the kind of views that it would take to push it out. We would have to do several truck videos and build a truck following before we were able to do videos. Because remember, this is a business, right? So we can't just do videos on things that we want to do. We have to do videos that are marketable to YouTube. What's up with the crazy old man? Me? I just hanging. Good night, Gabriel. UT, you sent out 4 ounces of silver in each car. What form would you have that? No, not in each car. Just you should have 4 ounces of, go out and buy 4 ounces of silver. And only in the form of coins. You could buy American Eagles, you could buy those just 1 ounce or 2 ounce, like bars or rounds. Junk silver is a great investment. Silver is a thing to get into. I'm telling you right now, silver is a thing to get into. Physical silver, not paper silver. Silver that you can actually hold in your hands. You're rebuilding a car to BBD as we speak. John Possum, why silver? Because the amount of physical silver the amount of paper silver far outstrips the amount of physical silver that's actually around. So there's going to be a silver squeeze soon. Adam White, I drive a Tundra. I watch you do great bits. So thank you, man. Paul, you cutting out? Good night, Paul. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna yeah, 22 cal. I love 22. I love small caliber stuff. So yeah, dudes. Oh my God, see, that's how tired I am, dudes. Guys, I'm all talked out. I got a lot of stuff I got to do tomorrow morning. Everybody, thank you for joining us. Our mods, Ari, Fubar, Zero, John Wilburn, all awesome guys. John Wilburn's got a channel that he's building. Go check his channel out, John Wilburn. I can't think of anything else. My brain is just gone. Somebody timed Dakota out before he said, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Fubar. I really love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And Wednesday night, Dallas's place, 7 o'clock Central Time. That's our tech night. So you guys got any tech questions, tech things you want to talk about, right? That's when we do that. And old car guy and slant six is old car guy and straight six man. Old OLDE car CARR guy and straight six fan, right? We were on their show this last Thursday. They're great guys. They got nice little channels that they're building. So go over there, check them out, give them a sub, and everybody who contributed via super chat. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. It keeps the wheels turning. And I am out of here. So I'll see you guys Wednesday night. Come by Wednesday night. See you then.